All right, guys, it's been a long day, but I just wanted to come on here because I am always reflecting on my day and trying to document my thoughts and the things I've learned as being a real estate agent since 2020. There's a lot of things about this business that most people that aren't in the business don't know. There's a lot of common misconceptions about what real estate agents do and don't do. There's a lot of people getting into this business that do not renew their license for the first time you're supposed to renew your license. What does that mean? Well, it means that nearly 90% of new agents fail at this business. So if you're a new real estate agent or you're thinking of becoming one, just know the honest, brutal truth that statistically, you probably aren't gonna make it. So in this video, I really just wanted to spit a few things out before I went to bed that I wish I knew before I got licensed. Number one, the hardest thing about being a real estate agent is not what you think. It actually doesn't have anything to do with selling houses and everything to do with how you go about finding houses to sell. Let me say that a little bit differently. Working with clients and selling homes, that's the easy part of being a real estate agent. And let me tell you, sometimes that ain't no cakewalk, my friend. The hardest part about being a real estate agent is figuring out how you're going to find your business. Imagine having to interview for a job every single time you want to get a paycheck. That's pretty much what being a real estate agent is. You have to hunt for your business and you need to figure out a method and commit to it as if your life depends on it. Write this down. The single most important thing that you must know when becoming a real estate agent is that prospecting for leads is the most important thing. It really doesn't have anything to do with selling houses. Now, it's not that hard. I mean, you just need to figure out how to earn the trust of as many people as possible who are folks who have a need for the service that you happen to offer, which ends up being advising them in one of the most important financial decisions of these people's lives. I mean, how hard could it be? So just know that becoming an agent is hard because you need to hunt. Now, there's different ways you can go about this, whether you're planning to be a lone wolf solo agent or join a team. There are pros and cons of each, but regardless, at its core, the only way an agent makes money is generating leads, and you're gonna have to figure out which method works for you. There are dozens, if not hundreds, if not billions. Okay, there's probably not billions, but there's a lot of ways that you could generate business for yourself. And I will talk about what some of those ways are, but I'm gonna save that for a different video. Next is the fact that I wish someone told me just how long it takes to make a deal manifest sometimes. Just because you have clients doesn't necessarily mean you have an immediate paycheck. Right now, it's almost April of 2024, and I've been working with clients this entire year so far that haven't resulted in a paycheck yet. But when they do, you know it's worth it. Like I mentioned a minute ago, you need to remember that we are working with people in some of the biggest decisions that they will ever make in their life. Regardless of whether you're working with a buyer client or a seller client, this is something that is a massive decision for people that are moving on to the next level in their life. Unless you're working with an investor that does this 5, 10, 100 times a year, but my main focus is residential real estate, working with people that are selling their homes or looking to buy their next home. Even if you have a listing with a seller that is very motivated and you know it's going to sell quickly in all likelihood, it's still quite a process to get from the start to the finish line, and it's not always a clear path. You're going to need to do a lot of work on the front end of things before you see any kind of payment. And in the beginning, when you don't have anything, especially before you've closed your first deal or two, the amount of weight that those deals have in your mind couldn't be overstated. But once you find your stride and you get some momentum in your business, you can ride the wave of your last deal into the next one, and then eventually you're able to serve your clients as a true fiduciary when you aren't worried about making money. As I mentioned in my first point, getting there is the hard part, my friend, so good luck. Lastly is ask for help. I think it's very important to find two different types of mentors. First, it's important to find a mentor that's going to help you through at least your first 3 or 4 deals. Many brokerages out there set you up with a mandatory coach or mentor for your first 3 deals, and this is so important to find a good one in this situation because this is when you learn the ropes. This is when you're truly faking it till you make it, and that's when you need the most help from someone who's been through the process before. This is when you learn how to write an offer, broker. This is when you learn how to have clients fill out a listing contract. This is when you learn the nuanced steps of a transaction, and it is so important to have someone who is going to be available to answer the many questions that you will have flowing through your mind during those early, confusing, and very likely stressful times, because you're going to be navigating something that you've never done before, very likely for the most amount of money you've ever made in your life at one time. I remember getting through my first few deals and I was calling my coach so much that I was pretty sure that I was annoying her, but I actually wasn't, because that was her job to help me, but also maybe she didn't get paid enough to answer all my questions. I don't know. Just get someone that knows what they're doing to literally hold your hand and maybe even drag you through those first few deals. Also, you should definitely learn about different brokerage models, the different splits, the different value proposition that each brokerage has, whether or not you want to work by yourself and for yourself with only yourself to hold yourself accountable, or if you want to be in a team setting. You need to decide whether or not you want to work in a brokerage that has an office-like environment, or if you want to work from a cloud-based brokerage where everyone works from home. Everyone will have their spot, so I just wish I looked more into that when I first got my license. Anyways, if you want to have a chat with me about anything from different brokerage options to lead generation, my number is down below in the description, so feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to hear from you, and make sure you check out this other video right here, which is 5 ways to generate business. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to bed now.